Chapter 34. Jen. I won't lie and say I've never imagined this moment as I gawp at the prettiest diamond ring I've ever seen, but it feels like an out-of-body experience, or a dream. It doesn't feel real. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael produces a black hat and a whole flock of doves flies out. I touch the diamond with the tip of my index finger. How did he know the right size? When did he order this? I love you, Michael says, cupping my face and kissing me. Come and see the sunset. He pulls me out of the ruin, and the sky is dappled pink and gold. Suddenly the dreariness of the day has melted away into a spectacular finish. A flock of birds, moving like the tail of a fish, sweep past us. Michael grasps my shoulder, his eyes gleaming with adrenaline and sunglow. I wonder if he's had any sleep. Perfect, he sighs. Slow to ignite, a spark of excitement fizzes my dull mind. I am going to marry Michael Chase. No more only meet up on the weekend or stupid teenage pledges to separate us. Our lives are going to join together. We should go back and break the news to my parents. Break the news. It'll be like taking a jackhammer to their cabinet of glassware. I gulp. Just need to collect up the lights and things. Michael hurries back into the ruin and starts gathering up the fairy lights and other items. If you just take these. I hold out my arms for a bundle of lights and then head to the car, still in a daze. I should just text Christina too, Michael says, tapping his phone manically. She helped settle this up. Oh, so that was why he'd been in touch with her. I blush, remembering my jealousy. In the car, Michael winds down all the windows. Just a bit of fresh air to keep me awake. I frown and shiver into my coat. Do you want me to drive? It's only down the road. Thankfully, we arrive unscathed, but I'm conscious that we're bearing a giant bombshell. I can't even think about ringing Dad or Katie yet, not when I haven't even got my own head around this. Besides, perhaps Michael's dad will disinherit him or something. I brace myself as we approach the front door, decorated with a luxurious wreath. Heather opens it with a huge smile, beckoning us inside, then hugging us each in turn. So good to see you. She gives me an extra squeeze, and I swallow my sense of guilt. Merry Christmas. Ezra enters the hallway, hugs Michael, then offers me his hand to shake. I put my left hand behind my back to hide the ring. Merry Christmas, Michael chirps back, like Michael Caine as a reformed Ebenezer Scrooge. I half expect Muppets to appear and start singing from the living room. I just gave Jen her Christmas present. Take a look. He grabs my left hand and holds it out, the diamond sparkling like a star with its own gravitational pull. Heather gasps and then squeals, throwing her arms around me, obscuring my view of Ezra. Well, congratulations. I hear his voice, quiet and understated. I'll go and get a bottle of champagne. Soon we're in the lounge, perched on the spotless cream sofas, holding champagne flutes. Cheers. Michael takes a mouthful, then puts it on the side. I've just got to go upstairs a minute. I sip my drink nervously, while Ezra avoids looking at me, and Heather smiles shyly. So, when do you think the wedding will be? She asked politely. We haven't really discussed it yet, I croak, swigging more champagne. You could speak to the vicar tonight, Ezra says. Or I could just enjoy the carol service. Will there be many people there at the service? I ask, trying to steer the conversation. Probably around 100, Ezra replies. He's coolly polite, but without Heather's warmth. I'm just doing a light supper before we go, Heather says. Ezra, could you help me in the kitchen? She gives him a meaningful stare. He sighs, puts his glass down and follows her. I down the rest of my drink and then sit back, my thoughts a hot mess. Ezra thinks I'm a gold digger. What's my dad going to say? And Katie? Should I ring them now or wait until I get home? What about all the questions people are going to ask, like, when's the wedding? Where is it going to be? I feel overwhelmed just considering all of the possibilities. I remember that Michael still hasn't returned. I tiptoe past the kitchen, where I can hear plates clattering and Heather and Ezra probably having an emergency powwow, and creep up the stairs. I stand in the doorway of Michael's room, pushing the door open, and see him fast asleep on his bed. Great. I slip back downstairs and reclaim my position, perched on the sofa. The clock ticks and the sound echoes around the silent room. It's now twilight and the gloom seeps through the windows, framed with luxurious curtains. My eyes flit over the pictures and furniture. There's a Christmas tree this time, in the corner. It looks slightly Victorian, with red bows and golden bells on it. It shouldn't surprise me. If I've learned anything about Michael's parents, it's that they like tradition. I check my phone, and I'm just about to text Katie when the doorbell rings. I listen as footsteps tread the length of the hallway, the door creaks open, and there's the sound of greeting. "Welcome home, darling. It's so good to see you." It must be Michael's sister, Rachel. I raise my eyes to the ceiling, sending wake-up signals. Please don't make me do this alone, Michael. "Now come on through and you can meet Jen." I hastily rise to my feet in preparation as a petite girl with a pixie haircut, the same dark shade as Michael's, steps into the room. She flashes me a smile and her eyes sparkle. "Hi," she says, reaching out and gripping my hand. "It's so nice to meet you." She speaks in a confident, slightly louder than normal way, but with warmth and enthusiasm. "And you?" I smile back. "Where's Michael?" She looks around for him. "He's fallen asleep." I look apologetically at Heather, who's standing behind Rachel. Ezra's right next to her. "Is he all right?" Heather asks with concern. "He didn't get much sleep last night," I say, before I realise how that sounds. I mean, I'm not sure if he told you. He had a reaction. I can feel my cheeks on fire, and Rachel looks from me to her parents before flopping down onto the sofa. "Was it serious?" Ezra asks. "A paramedic came. We gave him an EpiPen shot, but A&E was full, so we stayed at the pub, and he was sick." "Maybe we should cancel our plans," Heather says to Ezra, laying a hand on his arm. "Has he seen a doctor?" Ezra questions me. I wasn't with him for most of the day, but I don't think he has. Mainly because he was setting up clues and a diamond ring at the ruins of a castle. An alarm beeps from the kitchen, and Heather hurries off looking distressed. "Why didn't you go to A&E this morning?" "Dad, why don't you ask Michael?" Rachel intervenes before I can reply. "I mean, if he's asleep, let him sleep for a bit." "Well, we were going to eat now." He sounds annoyed. "Just save him a plate for later." It's when we're sitting round the table and I pick up my fork that Rachel notices my ring. I'm not sure which was preferable, the deadly silence or her loud exclamation, "Is that an engagement ring?"